So, I just downloaded a bunch of music from Bandcamp, and I need to put it all away. And I thought I'd show you some of the tools and tricks that I used to do that with Bash, mostly. Um, so, a lot of stuff here. So the first thing we need to do is put it all in the right folders. Rename some of these files so that they follow the artist dash album title convention, and then I've got a script that I use to do that. So let's take a look. You can pause your screen and look at this, but if you want. But basically, what it does is it uses the file name to determine where, what folder to create and where to put this stuff. So pretty straightforward. So let's do it. So here's going to extract everything. I keep all this stuff on a external drive. So yeah, we're going to put all this stuff in the right folders, and then we're going to groom the metadata. And I've got some tools that I built for that. And this is going to take a while. I didn't consider that when I hit the button to start the recording. But Bandcamp's a great place to buy music because artists get paid, and I think that's important. And you can get it in FLAC format, so that's lossless encoding, which is also, it's a marginal gain over a quality MP3 encoding, I think. And they don't charge you an arm and a leg. There are other places that charge you a lot if you want a lossless file. We're also going to clean up some of these file names. You can see they get really long, like right there. Some of these, I don't know who is responsible for distributing some of this stuff, but they just include a ton of information everywhere that it doesn't need to be. Alright, so all extracted. Let's go over to that folder. Let's look at the most recent folders. Alright. So here, let's see. Let's start with the stuff created today. So let's look at this. Come on. All right. So already we have these huge file names. I've got a tool I used to do this. Right. So rename, and then basically what it does is it chops everything up to the first set of numbers. So if we run this, and then so it just chopped all that stuff off that we didn't need. So that's awesome. And then I've got a thing called list, which helps me view the metadata. Let's take a look at that. So this uses some more functions that I built to extract metadata from the files and then display it in kind of a fun table. Let's take a look at one of these. So here, getTrack looks at the file type, and if it's an MP3 or M4A, it uses Kid3CLI to extract the track number. Otherwise, it uses MetaFLAC. So if I run this, it shows me all of the metadata. And here, so the album title, they've got all this extra stuff that we don't need. So got a function, set all title, and it's just tape.ep. I goofed that up. All right. This will be fun. override. But I lost all of my titles. What if, are they in the, they actually are in the file name. So this could be fun. So we want to chop off the dot. I always forget which one it is. There we go. Sort of progressively kind of chopping this down. I didn't think this would get so interesting right away, and it's my own fault. Let's try. Pretty sure I just had the wrong. So that did something, not what I wanted though. I think we want the other direction. Okay. All right. So now we want to, I think it's set title. I'm going to invoke my set title function. So we're not changing the file name, so we'll always have that even if things go awry with the metadata. And I believe it is file name. And then new title. That sounds right to me. Now I'll check the metadata. That is so cool. All right, so I've recovered from my error there. And then we're going to set the genre on all these. I think there's some dogs fighting outside. That's fun. This is all drum and bass, and I spill it out drum and bass. One more time. That looks great. All right, cleaned up. What's next here? Cocoa Bryce. Looks like it's not on Earth. All right, here too. Do the rename. And then we're going to check the metadata. All right, this looks really good, actually. Really clean. I just like to have all this metadata clean because that way it looks better in CMUS, the desktop player I use, and then also my VOX3 Looks great. DSP. Okay. Yeah, so symmetry records here too. So symmetry and metalheads are like the worst offenders when it comes to just throwing tons of interesting data into the file names and metadata fields. All right. Yeah, here too. Okay, so we're not going to make the same mistake that I made last time. I like that styling. No dots in the EP. All right, looks good. Let's take a look at that set all title. Our album. So it just goes through all the. It's interesting that it goes through every file because not every file in every folder is a FLAC file or even an audio file. So that could probably be changed, but I'll bet you set album does make a distinction. Okay, yeah, so it's looking at the file type, and it says if it's a FLAC, then first it removes the metadata, and then it sets it, probably because if you add metadata to a FLAC file through metaflac, I think it just stacks on another metadata field. So first you got to clear it out, and then you can add it. And if it's an MP3, then it looks like it just changes it. And if it's neither of those, then it doesn't do anything. So if it runs through an image file, it's just going to not do anything to it. All right, clean that up. It's interesting that that Ren1 is pretty effective. There's only a couple times where it doesn't really do what I want. And then here too we've got single quotes and some weird stuff here, so let's just rename that. This is all fine. Let's get rid of that. And there's really no reason for this to be. This should be in the metadata. We're just going to clear that out. Yeah, it's in the metadata anyway. This all looks good, actually. I could be using the history there to fill that out. Yeah. Okay. Inmost. This was a good one. I frequently wish list things on Bandcamp, and then I don't buy them for a year or something. Not quite right, but many months. Okay. That works nice. Check the metadata. Very clean. This was a cool track. See here we've got the artist name in the title. it's only 2 tracks. We're going to do this the hard way. Oh yeah, and apparently the artist is also in the album name. See, exit records. So exit records soffit to just chuck everything into the file name. Much better. Let's see what the metadata looks like. Alright. Yeah, just chuck everything, and like their internal identifier for the album is in the metadata. Why? Okay. This is one track, yeah. New Tone. That's right, it's the New Tone album out. Little spaces. Everything in the file name. Well, not everything, but close. So I don't need everything in the file name. Metadata is where it counts. And, you know, I didn't realize there were so many features on that record. Otherwise, metadata looks good. Okay. Excited to listen to that one. His previous album, forget what it's called now, but it was really good. C quartz. This is on, I believe, Metalheads. Yeah, Metalheads, putting everything in the file name. And I wonder what's in that image. We'll look at that sometime. Okay. I don't even know what this one is. I think this is actually on transition records. Oh yeah, so another thing that they do is they'll stick like digital bonus or free download in the title, which is not necessary. This is just summer and winter. That's better. Yeah, get your advertising out of the metadata. It doesn't need to be there. This was actually pretty cool. I think this is on Echo Records. Interesting that EP is mixed case. It is an initialism, so it should be capitalized, right? And then set the genre, fixed. This is an interesting album because it's drum and bass, it's very ruckus, and it has, I think like it's in like 1,500 collections or something, compared to most drum and bass EPs and even LPs, which are in like 60 collections on Bandcamp. This is also on translation. Getting close to the end here. We are at the end. Oh, I've got two, okay. Well, thanks for sticking around for the whole thing. I usually don't buy this much, but I hadn't bought music in a long time, so I kind of felt like I should spend a little extra this time and make up for lost time. That's it. Thanks for joining me. If you have any questions, you can always post a comment, and don't subscribe. Just don't do it.